Elder Vexthul floated in the ancient crystalline chamber, her thousand-year-old consciousness pulsing with alarm as she observed the emergency session of the Galactic Consortium. The chamber's bioluminescent walls flickered with distress patterns, reflecting the panic that had seized the galaxy's most powerful civilizations. "Impossible," screeched Admiral Krex of the Hegemony Fleet, his forearms gesticulating wildly. "A single species cannot conquer the Andromeda Arm in mere decades. The humans were barely out of their gravity well when we first detected them." The Zephyrian representative, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline shell, pulsed with agitation. "Their expansion rate defies all established xenological models. They've absorbed 12 star systems this cycle alone, not through conquest, but through." Elder Vexthul's ancient voice resonated through the chamber like the whisper of dying stars. "You were warned." The assembled delegates turned toward her, their various forms of attention focusing on the eldest member of their council. At 3,000 years old, she had witnessed the rise and fall of dozens of galactic powers. Her species, the Eternal Observers, had been keepers of cosmic memory since before most of the current civilizations had developed faster than light travel. Warned by whom? Demanded Chancellor Quix of the trade syndicates, her cybernetic implants glowing with skeptical patterns. "Our intelligence networks detected no significant threat from the Sol system." "By the predecessors," Vexthul replied, her form shimmering with the weight of ancient knowledge. "The last surviving members of the civilization that ruled this galaxy before any of us achieved sentience. They left warnings in the Cosmic Archives warnings about the third planet of an unremarkable yellow star." The chamber fell silent, except for the humming of translation matrices and life support systems. The predecessors were legend, myth, stories told to young civilizations about the mysterious race that had vanished eons ago, leaving behind only ruins and cryptic messages. Supreme Hive Queen Zacta clicked her mandibles nervously. What? What did they say about the humans? Vexthul's consciousness expanded, accessing memories so old they predated most of the galaxy's current stellar formations. They called them the Inheritors. Not because they would inherit the galaxy by right, but because they would inherit it through inevitability. She paused, letting her words sink in before continuing. "The predecessors studied humanity when they were still throwing spears at each other. Do you know what they discovered?" Admiral Krex shifted uncomfortably in his command harness. "Enlighten us, Elder." "They found a species that never stops. Every other sentient race in the galaxy reaches a point of equilibrium, a comfortable level of expansion and development where they stabilize. The Hegemony reached it after conquering 50 worlds. The Zephyrians found theirs in transcendent energy manipulation. The Hive Queens achieved balance through perfect collective consciousness." Vexthul's form brightened, drawing power from the chamber's ancient cores. "But humans have no equilibrium point. They are a species of perpetual motion, driven by an inexplicable need to reach beyond whatever boundary currently contains them." "That's merely evolutionary aggression," protested Dr. Yilmoth, the chief xenobiologist of the Science Enclave. "Many species display territorial expansion during their development phases." "No," Vexthul corrected, her voice carrying the certainty of eons. "Aggression can be satisfied. Territory can be claimed. Resources can be gathered. But humans aren't driven by any of these things, not fundamentally. They are driven by curiosity that borders on cosmic compulsion." She projected a holographic display showing human expansion patterns over the past 50 years. The visualization looked less like military conquest and more like the spread of a benign infection. "Observe their methodology," she continued. "They don't arrive as conquerors. They come as explorers, scientists, traders, artists. They share their knowledge freely, offer partnership rather than subjugation. They adapt to local customs while subtly introducing their own. Within a generation, worlds that welcome them find themselves thinking like humans, dreaming human dreams. Chancellor Quick's cybernetics sparked with realization. Cultural assimilation. They're converting entire civilizations without firing a shot. Worse, Vexthal replied. They're making them want to be converted. Human culture is infectious because it promises something every sentient being craves: the possibility of becoming more than you are. The chamber erupted in alarmed discussions as the implications hit home. The Galactic Consortium had been watching for military threats, economic warfare, technological domination. They had never considered that humanity's greatest weapon might be hope. But surely we can resist, insisted Hive Queen Zaktar. Our collective consciousness is immune to individual influence patterns. Vexthal's laugh was like the sound of solar winds through cosmic dust. The predecessors thought the same thing. They tried to study humanity while maintaining safe distance. Do you know what happened to them? The chamber fell silent again. They became human. The words hit like a singularity bomb. Every being present felt the weight of implication crushing down on them. Not physically, Vexthal clarified, but philosophically, culturally, spiritually. The last predecessor archive entries speak of walking among the stars with infinite possibility. They stopped being content with their advanced civilization and started dreaming of something greater. They abandoned their empire not through defeat, but through transformation. Admiral Krex's voice was barely a whisper. Where are they now? Everywhere and nowhere. They transcended physical existence, seeking what humans call the next frontier. They became something beyond our current understanding, leaving us to inherit their empty galaxy. Vexthal's form dimmed with ancient sadness. And now the pattern repeats. Supreme Commander Torth of the Military Alliance stood abruptly. Then we must act. Strike them now, while they're still contained to. To what end? Vexthal interrupted. Do you think the predecessors never tried violence? Their final archives speak of 3 separate attempts to contain humanity through force. Each time, humanity emerged stronger, more unified, more determined to prove that barriers were meant to be transcended. She gestured to the star charts showing current human territory. They've already passed the point of containment. There are humans in our academies, our trade centers, our cultural exchanges. They're learning from us while we debate about them. Soon we'll find ourselves learning from them, and then? And then? Whispered Chancellor Quicks. And then we'll discover that being human isn't about biology. It's about refusing to accept that anything is impossible. Vexthal's consciousness began to withdraw, preparing for the long sleep of contemplation. The predecessors tried to warn us, but they couldn't explain how to fight an idea that makes you better than you were. As the emergency session dissolved into chaos, with each delegation rushing to develop impossible strategies against an unstoppable force, Elder Vexthal felt a familiar sensation stirring in her ancient mind. For the first time in 1,000 years, she found herself curious about what lay beyond the next star. The infection had already begun.